Morning, everybody. Wolfie here. I am off to, wow, busy here today. I'm off to the hospital to have a horrible medical procedure done. They're gonna put something in my body, and they're gonna steal my life fluids. Yeah, I'm going for blood draw for some lab work. Welcome to my overshare episode for October. What is the 17th, I think? My vagina smells like pine cones. It's an old little bonus if you can tell me what that's from, actually. I'll give you a hint. It was a very good comedy show, aired on Comedy Central back when they were funny. What are you doing? Okay, people are weird today. I'm already regretting leaving the house. Right, so, let's bitch about, I did have a topic, I really did. So, in another episode of The Media is the Enemy of the Public. So, there have been reports from the press around the world for the past couple of days of an event that happened in good old Paris, France. That bastion of diversity and tolerance. And you know where I'm going with this. Now, the news reports this was an act of violence and someone was killed in what they're calling a fatal knife attack. Now, what actually happened? A Muslim fucking cut someone's head off. Straight up, cut their head off. Knife attack. Fucking lying sacks of shit. So yeah, they're downplaying, of course, the fact that a teacher was viciously beheaded in public by an angry Muslim. For the crime, the horrible crime of showing an artist's rendition of what that charming pedophile Muhammad looked like. Puke be unto him. Yeah, so Islam has a litany of problems. Among others, it's viciously barbaric and violent, intolerant, abusive as hell towards women, horribly homophobic, and remarkably intolerant. But, you know, they don't, they really try to downplay that. Anytime you try to debate or talk to somebody realistically about Islam, you always just get Islamophobe thrown back in your face, and that shuts down the conversation because people don't like to think. But seriously, how fucked up in the head do you have to be for a drawing to offend you so much that you behead the person, not who drew it, but just who showed it to a group of students? Modern Islam, kids. But having said enough about those jolly Muslims to probably get my channel banned. No reports, Plix. I really want to comment more on just how pathetic the media is about carrying water for these barbarians. You can't even really openly theorize about the real underlying root, why they do this, what the motivation is. I understand part of the motivation. Muslims will fucking kill you if you speak too ill of their, pedophile leader. I mean, they will. They'll find you and kill you. So I guess in a way I've just dared Muslims to come kill me. I guess if you feel so compelled, I am armed, so good luck. But it's just astonishing Especially when it's the same crowd. Like, you'll find people, the militant atheists out there. Oh, there's a dead kitty in the road. Fuck you, Earth. That makes me more sad than a dead, beheaded person in France. How sad is that? No. You'll find militant atheists who will just rant and rave about how awful Christianity is. And they go stone silent when it comes time to ask about Islam. Like, what do you think about the Muslims? Oh, well, you know, they're very diverse people, and it's such a beautiful religion and peaceful. What? It's like when they, well, I don't think the media did this. I think it was after one of the truck attacks. Yeah, like this happened, I think it was in the UK. Some big old truck, a Muslim got hold of a big old truck and just ran down a whole bunch of people in a shopping area. Just plowed straight over them. Killed like a dozen people or something like that. And the media did its best to downplay it. They didn't reveal any demographic information about the attacker until they basically had to. And so people started calling it a truck of peace, because the constant insistence that Islam is a religion of peace. But these euphemisms that the media keeps spewing, it's like, why the fuck do you do this? Especially when it concerns, like, Muslims and migrants from places like Africa. Like, why the fuck are you calling these people migrant workers, or claiming that they're doctors and lawyers and engineers in training? These people barely know how to start fire with sticks. And when you bring them into your country, they start raping your women, robbing your men, and stealing things. They're not going to college. They don't want to be doctors. They want to drink and get laid. And they're going to take it, whether the other participant is willing or not. But the media just keeps calling it, like, fatal knife attack. One hell of a knife if it can cut a head off. And then, of course, there's the now infamous screenshot of a CNN broadcast from a few weeks ago, where the Chiron says something stupid like, fiery but mostly peaceful protests rage in Kenosha. And the actual picture on the screen that they're showing is an intrepid reporter staring and looking sternly at the camera, and behind him is a raging fire, like this big 4-story building or something even bigger. It's fucking burning. The whole frame, the whole image is filled with fire, and looters and protesters reveling in the street behind it, or in front of it, behind this reporter, and they're fucking calling it peaceful. Burning shit down is not peaceful. Crazy bastards. It's like this crazy gaslighting that they're all doing. Nice. There's a sign saying "Back the Blue" with the American flag in black and white and blue. Fucking nice. And it's a church. Go figure. Right here in Orlando. So, yeah, folks who think that Biden's got a chance, nope. Sorry. I don't think you understand how much pull the churches still have. Because atheists' efforts to the contrary, you're not killing Christianity just by poking holes in its religious doctrines. It's just how it works. You're not going to get rid of Islam that way either. And that's kind of the scarier prospect. there's just it's so weird. And it reeks of just pure evil. Why the fuck do you want people not to think that these violent people are violent? Why are you protecting them so much? Why are you condoning burning down buildings and protecting people that cut other people's heads off? It's absolutely ridiculous. And I understand the conspiracy theories. They're not theories anymore. I mean, it's pretty much true. I know the media basically wants us to accept all this as the new normal. Like, we're supposed to embrace this new life of potential risk from violent invaders, but it doesn't make sense why. It's like they want to... There's obviously a replacement effort going on. People openly talk about how awesome it's going to be when everybody's skin is brown and there's no more white people. That's a really fucked up thing to say, because there's at least 1.5 billion white people. So you're telling like an eighth or a sixth of the earth, hey, fuck you, die. Of course, Muslims are doing the same thing, only it's they're telling 3/4 of the world, hey, fuck you, die. And so they're importing. All these countries are doing this. Like they're welcoming all these refugees from Africa into European countries. Mostly Italy has to eat shit on this because they're the closest geographically to these poor victims' rescue boats. It's just retarded. But I get that they're trying to replace whites demographically, but why with these other people? They're not importing engineers and lawyers and doctors. These are skills that you need. I mean, we're not going to suddenly run out of people that get sick. We're not suddenly going to stop needing doctors and lawyers and engineers and scientists and such. We still need that stuff. And I don't get this weird urge on the left that everybody seems to support to bring in the dregs of another society. Especially the violent ones, and those are the ones who come in. All right. Rant pause for now. I'm at the hospital. I'm going to go get poked, and then I will be back to resume my rant. And I'm back. I've been drained of my precious life fluids. Oh, right. Take off my slave sleeve. So, now that I've spent like 13 or 14 minutes pissing off the muzzies, new topic. Let's piss off the, who does this piss off? Let's piss off the obedient sheep, or whatever, I don't fucking know. This will probably annoy somebody, because it always does. So this whole, this Kung Flu thing is just getting so ridiculous. I came to a hospital to have my blood draw because the lab is open at weird hours, regular hours too, but also they're basically open. Oh, well, that lasted a long time. Don't bleed, please. Right. They're open regular hours during the week, but they're also open odd hours on the weekends. It's like 5 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon on weekends, so it's great. You can come in just whenever, and it doesn't have to interfere with work. But they're doing their. I mean, this is getting as bad as airport security, and it's just about as effective. They're doing all this performative security theater about the Wu flu. And so here's what happens. You go in the front door, and there is a The front doors are there, and then there's another set of doors you go through to get into the hospital. So it's like a regular entryway for a business where there's an airlock style thing. There's no actual security constraints. The doors are open. You could just walk right through if you want, say, yeah, fuck you. But you don't, because I don't want to rock the boat or be an asshole. Plus, they'll just call security and forcibly eject you, and I'm not big enough to defeat a well-trained, angry bouncer. But anyway, you walk in the first door, and there are two people there, uniformed for the hospital, and they're just bullshitting because they have the most boring job on earth. One of them whips out a contactless thermometer, and they check your temperature. And then they ask you the three big questions. And they're basically asking, you sick? You sure? You know anybody that's been sick? Okay, you're good. Get in here. Here's a sticker. Now shut up before anybody else sees. They hand you, they ask, do you have shortness of breath, fever, headache, blah, 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 blah. Have you been traveling, blah, 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 blah. Do you know anybody who's tested positive for bat AIDS? And, you answer no to all three questions, and they send you through. And they put a little, it's this. little visitor sticker, which I should just take off. Hold up to the camera. Yay, I'm a person. Give you a visitor sticker that comes off real easy. This is the first one that's ever actually stayed on me for the whole trip to the hospital. Then you go to the lab. It's right in the entry. It's like 3 doors on the left. So it's right there off the lobby. You go in, and it turns out that this is the right time of day to go. I used to go really early, thinking that, hey, I'll beat the rush. And then you get there, and it's the fucking rush. We have to stand in line for like an hour. This was much better. I just signed in, sat down for about 5 minutes, then they called me back up, looked up my record, said, okay, we are authorized to steal your life juice. Send me into a room where I had to wait for like 15, 20 minutes. No big deal. I tried posting to 4chan, by the way, and apparently the cell phone IP address range around here is banned for abuse, which cracks me up. So I guess people get on the cell network and shitpost on 4chan enough to piss them off. So they drew my blood. First stick, she got it, which was awesome. They took 2 little vials and then sent me on my way. So that was then you go back out the same way you came in, but use a different door to get out. Now, here's what's really funny about this performative Chinese flu theater. So you're supposed to wear a face mask, and I did. I was obedient, like a good little citizen, and I did my part. But there are so many ways that here's why all this protection, these idiotic steps don't help anything. To go in the hospital, like I said, you have to go in through one door first, and then you get screened, and then you go in the second, and the second door is open. It's just wide open. That first door is a manual door. You have to grab a handle and pull it open. They're not washing it. They're not cleaning that fucking thing every time someone goes through that door. Then, when you go in, everybody's wearing a mask. All the hospital workers are masked and everything, so that's good for them. You walk up to the lab window and it says, "We're working with another patient right now. Please sign in." There's a clipboard with one of those, it's numbered lines, and it's all adhesive. They peel off the sticker with your name on it, and they put it on the record, all that. So it's one of those sign-in sheets. There's a pen laying there. A pen. Just one. And the clipboard was on number 18. Now, when you, all using the same pen, Just saying. And then, of course, number 18 on the list means that 17 other people have manhandled that clipboard and rested their hand on the paper to write in their name. Then they have you go sit in a waiting room and you wait. And they're nice, cushy chairs, fabric upholstery, nice cushions, nice wooden chairs that hundreds of people have probably sat in between cleanings. Then they call you in and it's like, okay, we're going to send you into the room where you're going to get poked. And you sit in that special chair with the padded armrest and the arm that comes down in front of you. And there's no sign that got cleaned either. So there's that too. And so you're just sitting there, soaking up whatever germs are living on that padding. And they take your blood and they cut you loose and you go back out and you leave. Now to get out of the hospital, you go through that same open sliding door and then out the outer door, which is also closed, which you have to push open by hand. And again, I've never seen anybody sterilize those surfaces or clean them. And what else did I observe? Oh, come on, Will. I know I saw other stuff. Just little things. Oh, yeah. They ask for your driver's license and your insurance card. Fine. Nobody's wearing gloves. What the hell are you doing? There's no turn here. Oh, turning around. Okay. Yeah, nobody's wearing gloves to, do your paperwork. And then I had to sign a consent form. She hands me a pen. And then I sign, and I hand it back to her. She puts it right back in the jar for use by the next person. It's a joke, is my point. There are so many different vectors where this disease can get you that they don't even bother trying to protect you. Or they don't even bother trying to avoid, even in hospitals. These are professionals. They've supposedly been trained how to prevent Kung Flu from spreading, and none of this seems to matter. I guess the claim is it doesn't survive very long unless, outside the body, except in like mist or excretions, like when you sneeze, or maybe your boogers. And so, like regular surfaces, plastic, metal, rubber, that sort of thing, they don't necessarily carry it for very long before it dies. But come on here, we're talking about a disease, or we're talking about a virus that shut down the world for a few weeks, or for a few months, and scared the shit out of people. And we're seriously just barehanding it on all sorts of random things. It's just silly. And those, the three big questions they ask you when you walk in, it's just as silly as the three big questions they used to ask you at the airport. They stopped doing that. I'd like to think that George Carlin got through to them with one of his stand-up acts where he made fun of this, and that's where I got the term three big questions from. I think in the airports they ask you, did you pack your own luggage? Has your luggage been unattended for any amount of time? And has anybody asked you to carry anything for them? And it's like, who the fuck would ever admit to any of that? And the answer is yes, no, no. Yeah, I packed my own luggage. I haven't let it out of my sight because I'm not an idiot. And no, I'm not going to carry anything for Habib Abdul Khaja, Zimbabwe. even though he's really nice and offered me a sack of money. I'm like, no. And whoever answered that differently? Nobody. I mean, even if you were a smartass and couldn't resist answering like a smartass, everybody knows you're being a smartass. I don't think those questions ever stopped a single incident. And I bet it's just like this screening stuff at the hospitals. You're at a hospital. You want something medical done to you. So, I guess if you think you have Kung Flu, you'd probably want to tell them. But, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Have you traveled internationally in the last 14 days? Most people are going to say no, even if they have, which is kind of shitty, but it's sort of like in programming. One of the first things they teach you in computer science is that you can never trust user inputs. And it's kind of the same thing with this sort of screening. They don't hook you up to lie detectors, not that they work, but there's no way to verify anything you say. So if you want to go in, you're just going to say what they want to hear and go. It's absolutely ridiculous to treat it seriously as a legitimate screening mechanism. The only thing I think that makes any sense is the temperature check. Because I guess, if you've got a bad case of the flu, you've got high temperature. So, that's a decent screening method. But what if you've just got a regular cold or a regular flu that's not Chinese? Then I don't even know what they do if you don't pass that screening. I guess they don't let you in, but then you're kind of fucked if you need medical attention, right? They'd probably send guys out in the bunny suits to lock you in containment and quarantine. And once you're all locked in, they stand behind the glass and peer in at you. Is he coughing? Do you hear that, Bob? He sneezed. Get ready to burn the room. I don't know. Just seems like pointless theater to me. But, yeah. It's over. All right. I'm going to grab something to drink here and crank up a live stream probably in about maybe an hour. So by the time this gets uploaded, soon. So be on the lookout for that. I think I'm going to play some more Fire Emblem today because that was fun. And, yeah, thanks for listening to my rant, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.